Anytime you want to focus, that'd be great. Hey everybody, Kulprit, trying to film this for the third time. D here, Meek Mill, Dreamchasers, let's talk about it. Meek Mill is a Philadelphia native rapper, part of MMG, Maybach Music Group, Rick Ross's group, along with Wale, Gunplay, Omarion. This is his third mixtape in this Dreamchasers series, his first mixtape after his commercial debut, Dreams and Nightmares. I'm going to talk about some of the positives, some of the negatives about it, and then we're going to get into the track-by-track thing. Positives. Meek Mill has a very good ear for selecting beats. Dreamchasers 2, the predecessor to this in this series, half the reason it was my bread and butter for so long, and half the reason I was really into it, was the fact that he just chose these aggressive, punchy, in-your-face, atmospheric, climactic bangers. Just songs that are just great to jam out to with the bass all the way up. And he does that again in this mixtape. However, one of the downsides to Dreamchasers 2 is that he had these really, really good beats, but he had a certain pattern and rhythm in his flow that he really didn't stray too far from. He kind of had the same cadence and pattern in every song. And on Dreamchasers 3, he goes outside of his comfort zone a little bit and tries some different rhythms, tries some different patterns, you know, triplets, some speed rapping stuff that is really good, and he pulls it off. Now, he doesn't go full on Twista, but at the same time, he doesn't, you know, take it all the way to like MF Doom type sluggishness. But he does try stuff that is different and pulls it off pretty well. However, downsides, while he has that great ear for selecting beats that are just raw and punchy and theatrical, he doesn't use the beats to their full potential. He really takes these songs that could be, you know, these hi-fi bangers, and really radios them up and waters them down and has some auto-tune in there a lot and singing and just Drake and Futures them out to make them so club and radio ready, and it really just makes me sad. Also, Meek has a lot of charisma, a lot of energy, a delivery that is borderline yelling, like mystical, kind of, and it makes him one of the more recognizable voices in hip-hop and rap right now. But he kind of crosses that line a couple times in this mixtape of loud, energetic rapping to where he's just kind of screaming, and he crosses the threshold from charismatic and gritty to just noisy, pretty much. So let's get into the track-by-track stuff. The first track, I'm Leanin', really good beat. Second track is as well, but on both of these songs, he just doesn't use it to the full potential. You know, these beats are really good. They're bass heavy, and the bass is equalized really well, and you know, it's very reverb heavy with pianos and keys and good snare play. But on the first track, I don't know, it's just, it's lackluster. There's a feature from Travis Scott. It's not a bad verse, the content is pretty shallow, but as far as energy and delivery and rhythms go, pretty decent. And then at the end, Birdman and Diddy Talk, don't know why. And then second track, Make Me. Notice right away, Meek comes in with the auto-tune, with the singing. I don't know why every rapper feels like they have to have that criteria of auto-tuning and singing their own hooks. And the second song bugs me a lot because there is no change in his rhythm or in his singing. He sings the same notes, the same rhythms for all his lyrics in the verses. Even the chorus is hard to separate from the verse. Third track, Dope Dealer, it is a really nice beat, and I got kind of hesitant because I saw featuring Nicki Minaj, featuring Rick Ross. And these are two artists who normally don't put down verses that I can sit through, but these, I'm not going to say I like them, but they're tolerable. Nicki is a lot more laid back and doesn't seem like such a high school drama bitchy catty girl. She seems laid back. She seems a lot goofier and to be having more fun with her stuff and not taking herself so seriously. And the same with Rick Ross. Rick just seems like he's having a lot more fun and just being goofy, and his ad-libs are really animated and almost cartoonish. But I think the only reason that I would listen to the song again is because of the beat. I do really like the beat on this track. So after the Dope Dealer song, we have the interlude, the skit. I don't know if you can call it a skit. Little Snoopy, and then the Little Snoopy dedication song right after that. And that is one of the more introspective songs on here. There's only 2 or 3, but Meek really crosses that line and goes from loud rapping to just screaming almost. It just seems like he's really straining his voice and just during the chorus, and that makes it hard to listen to because it is a sad song. It does make you think. It does make you aware that this is going on in certain neighborhoods, but he really just kills the vibe of that introspective, deep moment. The next track, Ain't Me. First thing that sticks out about it is if this beat didn't have such trappy snares, it would honestly sound like a Justin Bieber beat. And that just made me throw up in my mouth a tad bit to hear Meek on something this bubblegummy. There's a rapper on here named O'Malley. His rhymes are just dumb, and not only on this song, but some of the songs toward the back half of this mixtape are hard to take seriously because they're singing R&B-ish and auto-tune singing and trying to make it sound kind of bubblegummy about this really G stuff, like killing people and moving bricks, but they're singing about it like Drake, and it's so hard to take seriously. At least when Drake sings, he sings about being in love, not I'm shooting you in the face. I be on that. Kind of a weaker beat. There's a nice DiBiase reference from Nicki Minaj, which I was surprised from. The thing that bothered me, you have Nicki Minaj and Fabulous on this track, I believe. Yeah, and for one, Fabulous sounds like Dizzy Wright meets Wale for some reason on this track, and there's no contrast in style on their flows. They all have that pattern. The track after that, Hip Hop. Probably my favorite song on this mixtape. I will say that. It's a production by Tone Beats, who did the house party beat on the original Dreamchasers mixtape. My song Barcode is over that beat. He's a great beat maker, and this song is really, really interesting. It's got kind of a cypher, freestyle vibe to it, kind of cardiac influenced, but it's got that synthetic substitution Melvin Bliss sample in there. And this song is kind of like Meek's own Started From the Bottom, just talking about growing up, and people say he wasn't going to make it, and he's going to prove you wrong. Money Ain't No Issue, featuring Future and Fabulous. The beat is the thing that gets me about this song, and again, this is the only reason I'm going to listen to this song again, is because of the beat. Right away, it starts out with a very Baroque era influenced clavichord. You have some trap percussion come in, and then you have this metalcore, power chord, distorted guitar, just and it sounds like something that maybe As I Lay Dying would do, or The Autumn Offering would do, and there's so many things going on in this beat. This is another Cardo production. Cardo is a pretty good beat maker, and this just threw me for a loop. The gliding, high-pitched synths sound really good with all this other stuff going on, and honestly, I think had you given this beat to like maybe Tech 9 or Yellow Wolf, oh, you'd have a whole different song that would just... That's the only way I can describe it, really, if that were the case. But I think this song would be really cool to hear live, with an actual metal band, with a string section. The next song, We Ain't the Same, skip it. Not even a Meek Mill song, Sleepworthy. Probably, maybe my second favorite song on here, Heaven or Hell. It features this singer named Gordon Banks, who has sort of a slight Chris Brownish voice, very kind of Justin Bieber-y. The beat is really good. It's got these glockenspiel sounding keys. It sounds like a Glock, but more synthetic. And they really complement Gordon Banks' voice when he's singing the hook. And I like the theme of this song a lot. It's talking about some people go to college, some people go to jail, some people go to heaven, some people go to hell. And there's one line from Jadakiss that I really liked. He says, some people get coffins, or some people find coffins, some people find the ditches. And he goes on to talk about that. And I think this is a good verse from Jadakiss, even though I'm not the biggest Jadakiss cheerleader. Effing with me, you know, it's another one of those generic auto-tune club beats. And I wouldn't have put it right after the Heaven and Hell song because they're pretty close to the same key. I think they might actually be in the same key. And Meek does some speed rapping at the beginning of each verse. He goes pretty fast. And with someone like Meek, I would expect him to, when he speed raps, be sloppy and kind of not understandable. But he's very clear, and he's not really staticky, and there's no slurring when he goes fast. And I haven't heard him from it before, and it sounded good. After that, you have the song My Life, French Montana on it. French Montana not rapping, but singing. Don't know why. The beat is a very similar feel to the hip-hop track, and that I do like. But French Montana singing on it, don't like it. And he does the same thing in the track after next, in the Right Now song. And that song has a very phasery, wah-ish pad, similar to Straighten Up by yours truly. Between the two songs with French Montana singing, you have Rich Porter, which has Rick Ross on it, and you can tell definitely Rick Ross had a hand in selecting this beat. It's a lot like his style. It reminds me a lot of 9 Piece and Do Something Strange that he did with Ludacris. There's one line that kind of struck me from Rick, and he said, "Take her makeup off and she still looks like a finalist." And I think Rose kind of had a brief moment of not being superficial. Like, he's saying this girl looks fantastic even without being dolled up, and I liked that. I related to that. Track 17 is the closer, and it is a good beat. But this beat, I'm telling you, should have been given to Kendrick Lamar, or maybe a guy like Kales. If you don't know who he is, go check him out. He is a Chicago-based rapper. He's on the rise. I've talked about him before. This beat should have gone to someone more like that. But it really does sound like something off of Good Kid, Mad City. And I don't know. Meek really needs to be calmer on this beat. He can't just lay back and chill and be smooth. He always has to be yelly and on high alert and just chill, man. So overall, Dreamchasers 3, not bad. A lot of the beats not used to their full potential. It's a very radio and club ready mixtape. A few highlights. There's a few songs of storytelling and being socially aware about things. DJ Drama, annoying as ever with his tags throughout the whole thing that overpower the song and are way too loud. But I don't think this is Meek's best work. I think Dreamchasers 2 so far is still his magnum opus. I don't think this is a terrible mixtape, but it's a little too mainstreamy and commercial for my taste. There will be just maybe 2 or 3 songs that I will keep listening to off it. So overall, I think I'm going to give this mixtape a 2.25 out of a possible 5 Maybachs. How's that work for you? Okay. Anything else that you need, you know where to go to my channel. Anything else you want me to review, let me know. A couple more reviews will be coming up shortly. Uploading a Doris review right now that should be up by the time you watch this. And that is going to be it for me.